Now that takes care of the period between 81 and 85. Now, interestingly, in the summer of 86, it says here that you sent your copyrighted 6-page treatment and 45-page manuscript to Andy and Larry Rachowski.
I sent the body of work to them, all the body of work that I named, the graphic illustrations, the special effects, the original draft, the edited draft, the synopsis, the makings of the third eye, the screen treatment, all of this, my ship, everything. I had a ship, the whole 9 yards.
So they got way more than Fox did.
Exactly. They got the whole entire work. Like The Matrix was so more phenomenal than the Terminator. The reason why it was more phenomenal because they had the whole great body of work. Because what happened was they had an ad in the magazine looking for a science fiction manuscript to do into a comic book. And I love comic books. I grew up on comic books. I always wanted my work to be a comic. My 2 biggest dreams was the movie, my work to be a movie and a comic book, and I had both dreams to come true. So I sent it to them, and I gave them everything because comic book people have to be more precise. And hey, I didn't know anything until March the 31st, 1999.
Now that's
goes into the national release of The Matrix, and I'm blown away. My work on the screen.
What was your reaction to that?
I said, I wrote that. And I was with a date, his name is Bernard Seagram, and I told Seagram, I said, I wrote this, and I was just in a state of shock. Every scene, I was like, I wrote this. And then he was like, what? And the people in the audience, they were like, what? They were like tripped out.
Wow, that had to be quite an experience for you to actually see that.
Well, it was phenomenal. Can you imagine seeing your work on a 40-foot screen and you didn't get paid for it? And it's there staring you in the face? It's like admiration, but also shock. I mean, like, you can't believe it. I mean, like, whoa, you can't believe this.
That seems to be such a concrete racist strategy to steal the things of others and claim them as their own. Bold-faced, it just seems to be, I mean, it's something that they do over and over and over throughout the course.
They got away with it, too. Yeah. You don't understand. They harmed some of the most, they got some of the people. This right here, me, I'm divine retribution. This is something that God set up. They have come face to face with their own selves. You know how you look in the mirror, the man in the mirror. You have come faced with your own inconsistencies and your own. You know what I'm talking about. You have come face to face with your own judge.
Full circle.
Full circle. And I'm opening up a great door for a lot of people who have been harmed. There are ancestors who have been killed over inventions and stolen from. There are people right now upon the earth who've cried out to God, blood. They've shedded blood over this. They've killed people over this. There's just so much energy has cried out to God, and even God is the Most High. And this is what you call divine justice, divine retribution. They're not going to get away with this at all. There's just no way it's going to happen for them.
Now,
you need to realize that.
Now, after you witnessed your work upon the screen, now, what was your next move at that particular point?
Oh, like I told you, I got in touch with them, and they knew who I was. They was in shock. They were scared. For me, it was a lot of people involved, and can I give them more time? That's what they're letting.
Wow.
And what shocked me was, hell, I had no idea they meant a whole lot of studios were involved.
Oh, I bet you did.
Well, I thought they were talking about, like, there was a lot of executives that made decisions or top brass or producers that was involved. Hell, nowhere in the world that I knew that all of this stuff was involved. There was other studios and they made franchise. You know what I'm saying? It was just phenomenal.
And not even your concern, because you didn't involve those people. You didn't tell them to steal your work.
I did not, so I didn't even care about that, to tell you the truth.
That's their problem. I agree.
After the settlement was aborted, I went to the feds, June 10th, 1999, and the rest is history.
So since Miss Newlack decided to give you a warning and alerted you to what was going on, could this be...
give me a warning. She's an officer of the court. She's an attorney.
Okay.
Why would she go to jail for their discretion?
My point exactly.
She's not getting any great amounts of money.
My point exactly, yes.
In every organization, I want to make this very clear to people, in every organization there are the corrupted ones and there are good people. There are good people in every organization that's going to blow the whistle on the bad ones. If you steal, you should steal alone. If you kill serial killers, kill alone. Your secret will be a secret, but when you involve more than one people, 5 or more people, it is no longer a secret. And God is like this. The hardest person in that group that you think is going to keep the secret is going to be the one that's going to tell on you, because that is a witnessing unto God. And when people see this, they say, oh my God, he's the worst one. I can't believe he turns them all in. You think he would be the one that would keep the secret, but then you got to say, there must be a God, because this is phenomenal.
Now that is exactly where I was going, because now it seems as though since that table has been turned over and somebody said, hey, look, there is a problem here, my next question was going to be, well, that must be the reason why, according to the court record, it seems that Warner Brothers and the Wachowskis' defense is seeking to strike paragraph 29.
They tried to strike it, but because they told first they lied to the judge and said it never happened. And then in the same breath, they turned around and said, but suppose it did happen, Your Honor. Sophia is not supposed to tell settlement negotiations. Settlement negotiations are protected under law, section 408. And so we facilitate these settlements so clients will not file lawsuits against us. So therefore, this is privy, it's confidential, and it should not be revealed.
Right.
And the Honor says, look, settlement is aborted. Your own people is telling on you, and since it's aborted, it's evidence, and its evidence can be heard by the jury because it has no protection because it wasn't completed.
That sounds logical. In other words, since she blew the whistle, settlement negotiations never took place.
That's right. They aborted. And once they were aborted, this evidence can be heard. So your people is telling on you. It didn't go through. What is being protected? It didn't. The process wasn't completed.
Right. Incomplete process. Correct.
That's right. Just like they said when I try to tell people, either the woman had the baby or was the baby aborted. If the baby was aborted, the woman didn't have the baby.
Right.
Therefore, the doctor is not protected.
You can't have it both ways.
That's right. You can't have it both ways.
Now, after notifying them, I want to back up through this a little bit for people who may not be clear. But so now, after you told them that you are aware of this, this is where the revisions come in on their part. And
changes started happening right after the FBI told me in the year 2000. They started making great changes and revisions. And guess what? People pull up the copyrights. Look at all the copyrights. Get the copyrights for Terminator. Get the copyrights for Matrix. Judge for yourself. Because look, right now, these documents are public information. Anybody can view it. Anybody can pay money and get it and look at it, and you can make determinations on your own. If something is not broke, why fix it? If it's making money, why change it? What is all the revisions and changes for?
Right.
Because they're trying to get away from and hide the theft, which is willful intent. Willful intent carries a great amount in the court of law. That's saying willful intent is saying that you had knowledge of this crime
and went forward
and it tried to perpetrate a fraud away from liability from paying and being exposed.
Exactly.
That's the most horribleness of a crime. Anybody can steal something, but the greater crime is your intent behind it.
Okay.
The malice.